There comes a moment on your inner journey when the thing you once craved so intensely no longer rules your thoughts. What once stirred anxiety, what once made your heart race with impatience, now meets you with peace. This is not resignation. It is not giving up. It is not surrendering the desire. No, this is the unmistakable sign that you have entered the end state. You are now living as though it is already done. You see, desperation is the voice of separation. It cries out, I don't have it yet. It clings, it grasps, it begs the outer world to change. But inner peace, that sacred calm that falls over you without warning, is the voice of fulfillment. It whispers, I already am. It is the spiritual knowing that your desire exists and is unfolding now, regardless of what your senses claim. When you are no longer moved by appearances, when the lack of evidence no longer stirs fear or impatience within you, you have shifted. The storm has passed. The hunger is satisfied, not because the outer picture has changed, but because you changed your dwelling place. You now abide in the unseen reality, which is the only true reality. The visible world must conform to it in its season. You may find yourself smiling for no reason. There's a stillness in your chest where there used to be tension. You are no longer checking the clock or refreshing the page or wondering when. The question how no longer interests you. You're no longer acting out of need. You're being from the place of having. Why? Because deep within you've accepted the truth. You are not trying to create it. You are not waiting for it. You are it. This stillness is not the absence of motion. It is the presence of faith. True faith is rest, and rest is a creative act. When you rest in the knowing that what you have imagined is real, you give it life. You water it with belief, you nourish it with silence, and you allow it to bloom, untouched by doubt. This inner peace is the fertile ground of manifestation. It is the soil from which the unseen becomes seen. It does not panic, it does not strive, it simply is. And here is the secret. Once you reach this point, your manifestation is no longer approaching. It has already arrived in substance. It is only the shadow of time that must catch up. The moment you feel calm about it, the moment the fire of desperation turns to the glow of contentment, the world begins to rearrange. So, if you find that you no longer feel desperate, if the need to force, push, or seek validation has quietly left you, rejoice. Your manifestation is not far. It is here. It is done. And now in this stillness, all things shall come to you with ease, in perfect order and without effort. The world may not understand your peace, but you do, and that peace is your confirmation. There is a subtle but powerful moment on the path of conscious creation where something extraordinary happens. Your imagined reality begins to feel more real than the physical world around you. It may happen gradually or it may come in a flash. One day, as you close your eyes and enter the scene of your fulfilled desire, you notice that your senses respond to the unseen as if it were the seen. The touch, the sound, the emotion, it all becomes vivid. The mind no longer struggles to believe because it knows. You are no longer merely pretending. You are experiencing. This is the true act of faith, not blind hope, but felt reality. When the scene you imagine stirs your emotions more deeply than the facts around you, you are creating in spirit. The outer world may still reflect the old story, but your inner world has already shifted. You have moved in consciousness, and consciousness is the only true cause. When you dwell consistently in this inner state, this imagined world, it becomes your home. You wake up thinking from the desire, not of it. You fall asleep feeling its completion. You no longer visit the scene, You live in it. It becomes your natural dwelling place, and the outer world must conform, because it has no choice. It is only a mirror of your inner acceptance. This isn't delusion, it's divine imagination. The world calls it daydreaming, the mystic calls it creation. You are not escaping reality, you are creating it from the only place it can be created, within. You understand that your senses lie when they contradict your inner knowing, and so you no longer give them power over your truth. Even in the silence of an unchanged world, you rejoice. Why? Because your desire has already become real to you. That is the only condition necessary. When you see yourself in the new role, hear your name spoken in new ways, feel the emotions of having what you once longed for, your subconscious accepts it. And once it is accepted there, it must manifest here. There is a secret the world has forgotten. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the first stage of creation. Every building, every invention, every work of art began in the unseen. So too does every healed relationship, every financial breakthrough, every transformation of identity. All of it begins as a felt reality in the imagination. And here is the key. When that inner experience becomes more emotionally compelling, more alive than what your eyes can see, your manifestation is no longer coming. It's already arrived in the only realm that matters. Soon the world will reflect it. It will dress itself in your vision. But long before it becomes visible, it will become real in you. That moment is sacred. That moment is confirmation. So if your imagined scene feels more vivid, more moving, more true than your circumstances, celebrate. You are living in the end. You are walking by inner sight, and the world will follow. One of the most beautiful and mysterious signs that your manifestation is near is when the world begins to echo what you have been imagining in silence. You may not yet hold the thing in your hands, but suddenly it begins to show up in small, unexpected ways. The signs are subtle, but they are unmistakable. You might overhear a conversation between strangers that mentions exactly what you've been imagining. A random line in a movie mirrors the scene you've been playing in your mind. A song lyric repeats a phrase that perfectly matches your desire. You see symbols, repeating numbers, specific names, images, or places tied to your vision, appearing again and again. These are not coincidences, these are confirmations. They are gentle winks from the unseen telling you you are on the right track. These echoes are not the manifestation itself, but they are the shadows it casts ahead of its arrival. They arise because you have impressed your vision upon consciousness so deeply that the outer world can no longer ignore it. It must begin to shape itself around your new inner state. And just as the first light of dawn touches the sky before the sun appears, these signs are the forerunners of your desire made flesh. You do not chase them, you do not beg for them, they arrive naturally as a byproduct of your sustained inner vision. The world is a mirror, and when it begins to reflect your new inner reality, even in fragments, it is a sacred signal. The seed you planted in imagination is now pushing through the soil. It is vital in these moments to remain steady. Do not fall into the trap of doubt. Do not say, "Why is it showing up for others but not for me?" Instead, recognize, if you are seeing it, you are calling it. If it appears around you, it is preparing to appear for you. Even your dreams may begin to align with your imagined life. You may see yourself already living it while you sleep. Why? Because the subconscious has taken root. The vision has been accepted as true. The inner man walks in the new state, and the outer man is now simply catching up. Sometimes, just before the full manifestation, these signs intensify. It may even feel like the desire is everywhere, yet still just beyond reach. This is not a test. This is the final turning of the wheel. The manifestation is already in motion, and reality is reshaping itself to make room for it. So when you begin to notice echoes, however small, however subtle, give thanks, smile in quiet confidence. These are not accidents. These are footprints of the future walking toward you. And when they appear, do not question. Do not waver. Let your faith deepen. You are not being teased. You are being prepared. You are not far. You are right at the edge. There comes a quiet shift in your journey where you no longer feel the need to chase, push, or force things into place. What once consumed your thoughts and filled your days with action rooted in fear now becomes something you simply know is yours. The urgency dissolves, the striving ends, the constant mental noise that says, I must do something, fades into stillness. And in that stillness, you realize something powerful. The thing you were trying so hard to manifest is already done. You no longer obsess over strategies. You no longer micromanage every move. You stop looking for signs every hour, stop checking your phone or email compulsively, and stop searching the world for proof. Why? Because something within you has shifted. You have assumed the end. You're no longer the person trying to get the desire. You have become the one who has it. You walk differently. You think from a new position. You move through the world as if nothing is missing, because in your inner world, nothing is. The desire is fulfilled. This is not laziness. This is not passivity. This is alignment. True power is not in force, but in assumption. It is the still conviction that what is real in your imagination must become real in your life. The outer world is only a delayed reflection of the inner world. And once you stop trying to make it happen out there, you begin to let it unfold through you. When you lose the urge to make it happen, you are no longer operating from lack. You no longer see yourself as separate from the thing desired, that you have closed the gap. The belief that something needs to be done is replaced by the knowing that it is already done. This is the divine rest. This is Sabbath. And in the sacred state of inner rest, all creation flows. Ironically, when you stop trying so hard, life begins to move. People, events, and circumstances rearrange. You are guided gently and naturally, without struggle or striving. You take inspired action when it arises. But there is no pressure, no panic, no fear. There is ease, there is flow, there is clarity. You don't need to force the river. You are the river. And it carries you exactly where you intend to go. If you notice that the compulsion to act, to prove, to manipulate, to check, or to strive has softened or disappeared altogether, take it as a sacred sign. You are in perfect alignment. You have truly entered the state of fulfillment. You are no longer waiting, you are being. And now, the world must respond. Let it come. Let it unfold. There is nothing more to do but remain faithful to the state you've assumed. What you desire is already yours, because you are no longer seeking it. You are now living from it. And that is the true power. There is a sacred moment in the journey of manifestation when joy begins to arise, not because anything in the outer world has changed, but because something within you has shifted. You feel it in quiet moments, in between thoughts, as a wave of peace or an unexpected smile. You may be walking down the street, doing something completely ordinary, and suddenly your heart swells with gratitude. There is no visible cause, and yet it feels real, full, complete. That is the confirmation. That is the sign. You are no longer waiting for your desire to come. You are living in the feeling of it having already arrived. And gratitude, true, spontaneous gratitude, is always born from the experience of having, not from hope, not from trying, but from knowing. Your deeper self knows the truth. The desire is already fulfilled, and from that deep knowing springs joy. not forced or practiced, but effortless. It bubbles up from the unseen, reminding you that the spiritual act is complete. You are already in possession of the thing you once longed for. This joy has no logic. It doesn't ask for proof. It doesn't care what the senses say. It simply is. It exists beyond reason, beyond time, because your inner man has assumed the state of the wish fulfilled, and in that assumption, the emotional tone of your reality has changed. You now wake up feeling grateful for what has not yet appeared in form, but already exists in truth. This is not delusion, this is creation. You are communing with the invisible reality that precedes the visible one. You are giving thanks not for what is coming, but for what already is, on the level of consciousness where all things begin. You may find yourself laughing with no cause. Tears may come to your eyes not from sadness, but from the overwhelming feeling of fullness. Your cup runneth over. The presence of your fulfilled desire surrounds you. You feel it in your breath, in your body, in your being. This is not a fleeting mood. It is a resonance, a match to the version of yourself who already has it all. And because you feel it now, you call it forth now. This is the vibration of completion. This is the secret of effortless manifestation. When you are grateful for the unseen, when you feel joy for no reason, do not dismiss it. Do not question it. That joy is reason enough. It is your soul whispering, it's done. It is your inner world radiating the light of a reality already formed. So if, in the silence of your day, you feel waves of thankfulness rise from within, take it as a divine confirmation. The world may not yet know it, but your spirit does, and what the spirit accepts, the world must eventually reflect. Smile, give thanks, feel deeply. You're not waiting anymore, you are remembering. When you have truly assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the appearance of delay no longer disturbs you. What once would have caused doubt or frustration now becomes an opportunity for deeper faith. You no longer view setbacks as signs of failure. You see them for what they are, divine timing in motion. There is a quiet knowing that begins to grow within you. It tells you this is not a no, this is simply not yet. The doors that do not open, the people who disappear, the moments that seem like detours or pauses, these are not rejections. They are life-moving pieces into perfect place, according to the unseen blueprint you have already set in motion within your imagination. You understand now that manifestation does not always follow the path your rational mind expects. It takes the shortest spiritual distance, not the most logical route. And sometimes that involves delay, not to punish you, but to prepare the way. Delay is not the absence of progress. It is often the sign that the roots are growing deeper before the bloom appears. When you are in the state of the wish fulfilled, you do not chase time. You do not measure your faith by speed. You rest. You trust. You know that the unseen is organizing what the seen cannot yet understand. The outer world lags behind the inner assumption. That is the law. So instead of asking, why is it taking so long? You begin to say, it's on its way, in the perfect form, at the perfect time. You don't need constant signs. You don't need to be reassured. You have already accepted it within, and that is enough. That acceptance becomes your compass, guiding you with peace through every seeming obstacle. And here is the mystery. The moment you stop being shaken by delay, it loses its power. The moment you stop reacting to appearances, they begin to change. Why? Because you are no longer in the state of lack. You are no longer declaring with your emotions that it isn't here. You are dwelling in the end, and the end knows no waiting. Sometimes the delay is grace. Sometimes it is protection. and often it is perfection taking time to align every detail for your highest good. What feels like a pause is often a setup for something greater than you imagined. But you only see this when you stop demanding and start allowing. So if things seem to slow down, if answers seem delayed, and yet you still feel calm, unshaken, and rooted in the knowing that it must come, this is a powerful sign. It means you are no longer led by what is, but by what is coming. Already real, already yours, simply waiting to be revealed. There is no such thing as denial when you have claimed it within. Only unfolding, only divine timing. And in that timing, all things arrive exactly when they are meant to. Each of these signs is more than just a clue. They are confirmations that your inner world has shifted, and therefore your outer world must follow. The truth is simple. The moment you accept your desire as already fulfilled in imagination, creation is complete. What follows is merely the unfolding, the bridge of events, the gentle rearranging of reality to mirror the state you have claimed within. When peace replaces desperation, when your imagined world becomes more vivid than the one you see, when the echoes of your desire begin to reflect all around you, you are not waiting, you are receiving. When you no longer chase, no longer push, no longer need to make it happen, and instead feel overwhelming waves of joy and gratitude from nowhere, know this, it is done. And when delays no longer disturb you, when you rest in the knowing that nothing is denied, only divinely timed, then you are truly living in the end. These signs are not to be forced or searched for. They come naturally to the one who has assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled. They arise effortlessly as fruit from the tree of belief. So walk in faith, dwell in the unseen, persist in your inner knowing, and trust that what is yours cannot miss you. It is already written, already claimed, already unfolding. Thank you for receiving these words. May they remind you of the infinite power within you to imagine, to assume, and to become. Stay in the state, live from the end, and watch the world rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. Thank you. And remember, it's already yours.